is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new ZDX. Only $459 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 MDX at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
The Sultan's choice for excitement, and a caravan of savings awaits at Toyota of Hollywood. Your wish for savings has been granted with discounts of up to $4,500. Take a magic carpet ride in a Toyota Corolla, not $24,000, $19,988. Step into our grand bazaar where you'll find epic savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new ADX. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
How you doing? Welcome aboard. Howdy. Y'all y'all feeling good? Doing good? I hope so. It is Friday, October 24th, 2025. It is day number 18,910 since the Miami Dolphins were world champions. It is day number 8,694 since the Canes were national champions. And it is day number 123 that Bitcoin is above 100,000. Yeah. And that is the story, my friends. Hang in there. Anyway, we got the great Sean Stanley driving the program. We got a loaded show for you. David Furones is going to join us. Manny Navarro is going to join us. Shania Gordon is going to join us. So we have got a absolutely loaded show. We'll take your comments, your questions, your insults, maybe even a compliment. What the hell? All of that here today on the program. We got a lot of things to talk about, obviously. And, one of the things that's in the title, and we've got this whole mess going on with Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones and Terry Rozier, who's the current Heat player that's in the mix. They must have loved it, by the way, that he showed up in Hornets gear to the prison. That was like the Hornets hated that shit. But the Heat offices were like, yes. Terry wore the colors when he committed the crime. They love that. I mean, that was good. That was good. Kevin Love, by the way, did you see the Kevin Love thing? No? Oh, dude, pull up my Twitter. It's I posted a little bit ago just so people can see it off of Kevin Love's Instagram. What he posted on Twitter. And check it out. So Sean will bring that up. I thought, you got to leave it to Kevin Love to do something lighthearted and make fun of it and all that. Damian Lillard got all bothered about Kevin Love's post because, his coach and all. Whatever. That's my coach. That's my quarterback. Anyway, see, Sean will pull it up now, but it was funny. I gotta say, it was Coldplay influenced, and Kevin Love played it perfectly. And I mean, these are the moments that I don't feel sorry for people. And there you go. A little Coldplay. There's Billups hugging Rozier. I like it. So that's the way you do it. You got to have some fun. I don't feel sorry for these guys. They're making tons of money. They had no business doing any of this shit. So if they're guilty of all this shit, throw them in jail. I don't care. That's their problem, not yours or mine, dude. So, anyway, so we'll the one thing that I want to ask you all, and I've talked about this on the show. This isn't anything new. I've talked about this a little bit, but, the chapters keep adding. And when Riley got here and took over with Mickey, everything looked incredibly competent, right? I mean, top notch, everything done the right way. Most of the moves always were the right moves, the right players, the right kind of stars. They constantly found stars. They overcame all kinds of adversities and all kinds of stuff, right? Am I lying about any of that? No, that's 100%. But since 2014 till now, and you guys could add to the list right now that you're watching, and please, by the way, smash the hell out of the like button. Please smash. So let's go over since 2014. You lose LeBron and the big three. You try to entice LeBron with Granger, with Bob, and the first round pick, the point guard, which Shabazz Napier, which was a waste, right? All of those things were a waste, and a waste of money, a waste of time. You beg Bosch to come back, and you're forced to pay him more money than Houston's paying him. This is after Bosch won 2 titles with you. He's still holding you hostage. Then you go through the phase of signing Whiteside and Tyler Johnson and James Johnson. And, dude, Dion Waiters needed foot surgery, and Riley still gave him a 4-year contract. And the fact that you actually gave contracts to the Scrubberinis, like, what the hell were you thinking, dude? Like, how much have you lowered your standards? Then we start looking at the Dwayne Dedman fiasco, the Rozier trade, Kyle Lowry addition, the Butler fiasco, the Butler extension. And I am one of the few people on planet Earth that can call the heat out on the Butler extension, because I am one of the rare people. None of you said it, okay? I am one of the rare people that said right after that second trip to the title, I said, trade him right now. And I was vilified. So I'm going to rip the Heat for not having any vision whatsoever, knowing they should have known what I knew, that what happened in those 4 or 5 years was all lies. It was just overachieving bullshit. Your team was never that good. Did you have a chance actually against the Lakers in the bubble? Yeah, actually, if the injuries didn't happen, believe it or not, you might have had a chance, as crazy as it was. But that was a shortened season and all that. The reality is you didn't belong there. But hey, crazy stuff happened there. And then the second time around with Denver, you didn't ever belong there, and the finals showed you how they spanked you and sent you home. We have this whole, not only do you trade for Rozier, but you trade for him after this fiasco happens, and you know nothing about it. Just like the NBA tried to not know nothing about it also, because the NBA has always been the one that looks the other way for all the dirty shit that they pull. So it is what it is. And then you have a cop rip you off millions of all the history of your team, dude. The stuff that you were going to use for your own Hall of Fame. Some scumbag cop decides, oh, well, this is my own, what's it called? Paraphernalia shop or historical heat shop, and I could just start selling shit, and you didn't know anything about it. What I would like to know from Mickey Harrison and Pat Riley is, hey, guys, what the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is going on here? I mean, I have a laundry list here in the last 10 years, 11 years, of all the buffoonery shit you people are pulling off every goddamn year. Like every year, you're a joke. You have become a joke of a franchise now. Remember what I've told you now, right? For you youngins that didn't experience the Dolphins in the 70s and the Dolphins in the 80s, this old man did. This old man did. And the 70s were 2005 all the way to 2014. And I told you, have I not said, that the 80s are 2015 till now, where you still made 2 appearances like you did with the Super Bowl in 80 and 82 and 85, but you didn't belong there. You're fraudulent. You're still having success, but you're really not that good. And so the next decade that comes now becomes
the next decade for the Dolphins, the 90s, and it gets worse, in other words. And that is what I'm seeing from the Miami Heat. I have to sit back and ask, what the fuck is going on? Seriously. Like, you guys have been on a Dolphin-like role in the last decade. You do Dolphin-like shit. And you were never that franchise. You were never like the Dolphins under Riley. But Riley and the Harrison family right now, the last 10, 11 years, my God, the amount of stupid shit that's gone on, the amount of embarrassing shit that's gone on. By the way, what was that kid high on in the hotel, in the lobby? What was his name? Green? Still don't know. Like, what is going on in the Heat organization? That's the real question. Okay? Nobody does this. None of the writers do this. Nobody puts their feet to the fire and goes over, hey, yo, guys, like, what's going on here in the last 10 years? Like, you guys don't know what the hell you're doing in the last 10 years. You realize that, right? Do you all realize that in the last 10 years, the Harrison family and Pat Riley act like they don't know what the hell they're doing? You understand that, right? I mean, they had some dumb-ass cop ripping them off right from under their noses. To me, that was like the ultimate show of what has gone on there. Did you guys get to some pinnacle and you thought you were above everything, and then you like, whatever decision we make will be the right? Well, you guys don't know how to make a good decision. You guys only know how to tie yourself up to controversies, to stupidity, where we got a player throwing a massage gun on the, like, we're like, what the fuck is going on? We got UD fighting with Butler. What the fuck is going on? A star that just wants to take the day off because he was at a tennis tournament. What the fuck is going on? I just want to know. Seriously. Like, I want to know what the fuck is going on. Because your last 10 years are a joke. An absolute joke, dude. It's like it's one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. When's it going to end is what I'd like to know for the Miami Heat. When does it end that you guys stop being screw-ups again? And, stop being screw-ups and get back to being like a really good franchise, because you're a really bad franchise. You're a really bad franchise that makes really bad decisions constantly. So, it's you get to be the darling for a while, but it gets to a point where there's no darling involved here, dude. You got to kind of question, like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? Can you guys not do this anymore? Is that what it is? Because that's what it looks like. It looks like the game passed you all by. You guys don't even know. By the way, Sloman's can help you out if you want. Shield Link, 1-800-ALARM-ME, Riley, Harrison. The Sloman Shield Link. You could have cameras on all of your, expensive stuff there, and maybe you would have caught the cop coming in there. They couldn't even have Shield Link there. I just really, I'd like to know, like, what's going on? What happened to you people? Seriously, like, what happened to the Miami Heat organization? What happened to the Miami Heat organization? How is it that they have become just absolute buffoons in the last 10 years? How is it that they make so many bad decisions? How is it that they're always involved in all kinds of bullshit lately? It's so Dolphin. Did you guys did you hang around Miami Gardens too much there at the facility? Did you bring Stephen Ross into your building or something? Did he rub his ears up against the building? What happened? What happened to the Miami Heat? That's what I really would like to know. Because, we're headed to another shitty season, and I get it. It's about development and the young guys, but I'd like to know what happened because really, sorry, you know me, I keep things 100. Right now, I have no hope for this organization. I have no hope for the Arison family and Pat Riley right now. They have lost it. Totally lost it. Completely lost it. Okay? These people can't even protect jerseys. And by the way, after all this history and you're going through shit years, why didn't you already build that Hall of Fame? Was it money? Can't be money. You're a billionaire, dude. Why didn't you put all that stuff to use already? Like how slow, cheap, dumb, whatever it was, more dumb decisions by a franchise. You had all that stuff from all the history that you've created. And by the way, you ain't creating any more history. So you might as well do what the Dolphins do, live off your past. Why didn't you build that already? Were you too cheap? Were you too slow to get the permits? What happened? And so now you got it stolen. Like, I'd like to know what happened to Pat Riley and the Arison family. I really would like to know what happened to them. Because when you talk about losing it, they've lost it. Absolutely lost it. The only thing they have, and his name is Eric Spoelstra. As Santana would say, se acabó. After Eric Spoelstra, there is nothing elite left in that organization. Not a player, not an owner, not the executive at the top. None of those people are elite. The only guy elite is the coach. And he is just like he's on a river that is ripping against him, and he's got to go upriver somehow in a canoe, and it's going to be near impossible for his ass. Seriously, he's like a flying fish trying to go up a river. That's what he is. It's just really amazing. I'd like to know what happened to the Miami Heat, because it's really depressing. It really is to see how somebody just loses it. I watched it with Don Shula, and now definitely we're in the middle of watching it with Pat Riley and the Arison family. Whew. Wow. They are great at getting involved in controversies and silliness and bad news. They are no longer any good at being one of the better teams in basketball anymore. They're not one of the better franchises, and they're not one of the better teams at all. Sad. Really, 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 really sad. That to me that's my story coming off Rozier. I don't give a shit about Rozier. He's an idiot. And if he did it, too bad for him, dude. He's made $160 million, $150 million in his life. Why would you be involved in this in any way, shape, or form? Why would you give any information, even by accident or anything, to anybody? That's your livelihood. Don't let anybody mess with that. Just really, really stupid shit. And Chauncey Billups too. Chauncey Billups, if he did all that shit and he was that dirty and ripping people off, he's a thief. He's nothing more than a thief. He's a liar. He's a con artist. And I hope he serves a shitload of years in jail. I don't care. Dude, you're literally ripping people off. And you're a millionaire. You're a millionaire coach. You've made money as a player. What do you need to do this to people for? Like, that's evil shit, dude. What Chauncey Billups is doing is evil, man. Like, you've already made your money, and it's not enough that you want to then rip people off? Wow. Damn, man. It's sad. That's sad. You're a really bad human being. That's what you want to do. You want to rip people off. Wow. Man. For his sake, I hope he ripped off all the right people, like people that won't go after him. You know? Because that won't end up well for him. Oh, my God. Wow. Do want to remind you, of course, that the program is brought to you by our friends at Toyota of Hollywood at 1841 North State Road 7. Let me tell you, man, Herbie Lopez does great work out there. And if you're looking for an incredibly reliable vehicle, one of the best vehicles in the world, of course, Toyota's right there. And this is the number one volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. I think they're number 2 in the entire country. Right now, you can get like the Camry LE sedan right now, $299 a month. Get on down there. And we've got 2,000 vehicles in stock, over 1,200 new ones. And it's all under roof, which is a beautiful thing. So even if it's really hot outside or raining, you're still going to be able to go look at any car you want under the comfort of not sweating and all that kind of stuff. You're under roof. And if it happens to be raining a little bit, well, at least you will not get wet because you'll be under roof. So get on down there, 1841 North State Road 7. They're right on 441. They've got no payments for 90 days, 2.75% financing available for 4 full years, 0 down, folks. Tell them that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you at Toyota of Hollywood. Don't forget, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. As always, we appreciate it. You can send in your questions and comments, of course. Many ways to support our show. The thumbs, hit that thumbs up. You can make a donation. You can visit our incredible sponsors. It's the reason why we're alive and kicking every time and every day. Thanks to our great sponsors, and thanks to you all visiting our great sponsors. Appreciate it. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Alan Blanco, if you need custom printing and embroidery, again, great sponsors, 786-618-1443. You can do all of it by Zoom. They can get it shipped out to you right away. So call him. That's his cell number, 786-618-1443. He's always running all over the damn warehouse, so he can always take care of you. Last night, rough one for the Panthers. They lose to the Penguins 5-3. They dropped to 4-5 on the season. Marchand with 2 goals. Bob had 11 saves. It wasn't like he was peppered. It wasn't like an efficient night for him. Defense did all right for him. They didn't let him get all, face 30, 40 shots or anything. It's just wasn't a good night. It is what it is. Tomorrow night, they're back at Amarant Bank at 6 o'clock. They'll take on Vegas. Relax. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. It's a long season. They'll figure their way through it. Tonight, the Miami Heat are back in action. You know that franchise that can't get it right? They're in Memphis at 8 o'clock to take on Ja Morant and the Grizzlies. Memphis, by the way, favored by 3.5. The over and under is 232.5. Miami is plus 135 on the money line. Memphis is minus 160. Tonight also, we've got playoffs in the MLS. So we'll see. Messi, who just signed a new contract through 2028, he will host Nashville, and Inter Miami is minus 190 on the money line. Nashville plus 400. Best of 3 in this series. Let's see what happens tonight. Boys, better win the MLS Cup this year. Not just win this first round. Better win the MLS Cup this year. Saturday at 7 o'clock, Stanford takes on the Hurricanes at Hard Rock Stadium. We'll do the post-game show after that, of course. Last night, Chargers defeated the Vikings 37-10. They pounded them, dude. Herbert threw 227, 3 touchdowns and interception. He also ran for 62 yards. Oronde Gadsden II, 5 for 77 and a touchdown. I don't know what happened to Flo's defense, but they got pounded 37-10. Miami, they will visit the Falcons, and the Falcons are favored by 7.5. The over and under is 44.5. Dolphins plus 350 on the money line. The Falcons are minus 450 on the money line. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. Let's see what we got here on the chat board. Dolphin Dave, good morning to you. I see Corso, One-Eyed Jack, Kosa. He's ready for some poker. Jay Gelfin in the house. Smashing it. Luis Medina. Jeff in Long Island. Eddie Herada. Sneak Attack 305. Alexis Palenzuela. Sweet Baby Ray. Brian Landis. Chris Johnson. Jay looking for Shania. Yes, sir. Lisa on the road north of the border to see my Dodgers play in the World Series. Total bucket list trip. God knows my Finns will not make the Super Bowl anytime soon. Yeah. It's bad. When we get, I'm gonna talk to Frohonis now. I'm gonna ask him, have you thought about what's coming? Does he realize how he gets to cover nothing exciting for the next 2.5 years, and he has to write about it every day? That's got to be rough for him, man. I wonder if Frohonis will try to switch beats. Stoney Stanley, Skylar Tipton, Lenny Pena, Big Johnson, Ty in the Bronx, Josh. Yep. He's into his ships, no doubt about that. John Hernandez, Devin Jordan. Yeah, Devin, why draft Oronde Gadsden's son? You weren't going to use him anyways. This guy doesn't use his tight ends. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you draft any tight end with this moron there as a coach. Yes, I will talk some crypto today, sir. It's a short one, but important. Let's see. Ray Grullon. I have confidence that the Panthers will turn it around. Glad the slump is the early part of the year. Exactly. And guys got to figure out their roles as they've reshuffled, the lines because of the injuries. They'll be fine, dude. They'll be fine. And halfway through the year, we get Kachuk back, and we'll get a healthy Kachuk, which you haven't had a healthy Kachuk in a couple of years. So this is good. We'll be fine. I'm not worried about the Panthers at all. So precious jewels were stolen from the Louvre. The cop taking the memorabilia from the Heat was like taking candy from a baby. I mean, but it's just ridiculous that you would allow that to happen. That's all. As an organization, it's embarrassing. And to me, why was that sitting there for that long? Why hadn't you created a Hall of Fame for the Heat already? What has stopped you? That's a money-making opportunity if I've ever seen one. And it's not like you don't have pool in Miami and in downtown that you can, get some permits done and get that shit built, But what, were you waiting for a freebie handout or something? That's where, okay, I hate to take a shot at the Arison family, okay? When the Panthers are kind of done with this run, whenever it is, and I hope it continues, you think the Viola family is going to wait very long to put up some kind of a memorial for all this stuff? You think if Stephen Ross had the history of the Miami Heat and all that stuff, you don't think he would have created something? Like, they already have stuff like that in the stadium, but you don't think they would have created something already? Like, how is it that it was just sitting there, And that's where I get cynical and I say, what were you waiting for, some city handout? When you're a billionaire, bro, do things that billionaires do. Look at what Stephen Ross has done on that property. And he produces more money, but he puts more money into it. So, and we end up benefiting from it because of concerts and everything else. But he's putting money into it. Look at the Violas. They put that practice rink. They are spending. So if you're the Heat, like, what are you doing with all that shit sitting there and you didn't do what you were supposed to do? You know, just odd. All right, let's talk a little Dolphins with the one and only David Furones and our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. How you doing, bro? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm going to be going to Atlanta tomorrow, so going to be in the dirty South. So
it is a fun downtown. It's a fun downtown.
Nice. That's what I'm saying. So
have you never been there?
So I mean, I've only been there once actually. It was when I covered against Clemson during COVID. So I spent the yeah, I know. It was like that's my only time in Atlanta. I mean, aside from just like connecting on Delta flights, if I'm flying Delta on a trip.
Yeah, connect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
that sucks, dude. So the only time you went was during COVID, which you really probably couldn't really enjoy the damn place. But you will now, dude. You will now.
I was looking forward to it.
It's one of my favorite cities to visit. Their traffic absolutely sucks ass. Yeah, no, Atlanta traffic is really, really bad, dude. It's really bad, man.
Yeah, I think I even got a glimpse of it that time during COVID.
I've been there several times, and that's one thing that I've been impressed with Atlanta. I didn't know that their traffic was like A-level bad, So that's about the only. But once you're in downtown, you don't really need a car or anything. You're just like, you can walk all over and all that kind of stuff. Their downtown is really cool. I like Atlanta. I think it's a really cool place to visit. So that's going to be fun. And I guess, that leads me to a question that I want to ask you, because as a beat writer, like, your next 2.5 years are about to suck. You know that, right? Like, you're about to cover a team that is about to do the whole stupid transition again. They're going to get a new GM, a new head coach. They're going to have new coordinators. It's all, and they have cap issues for the next couple of years because of the moves that they're going to have to do over the next, couple of months. So it's just one of those deals where, just personally for you, it's all about you, dude. Screw the Dolphins. I'm just wondering personally for you how you feel about that, because I've been on the beat where you have to go every day and all that. For you, it's even worse because you have to literally write about it. And it's just even more than a radio guy. It's a lot more to it. So I'm just wondering, you don't have, you're not going to be writing about a lot of exciting stuff except potential stuff, which is what we've always done.
That's what hurts when a team goes down this bad this early, is just like, you got to pull through the whole rest of the season, just coming up with interesting things. I mean, I can only imagine, it's got to be worse if you were like a baseball guy who wrote every single day about the Marlins. My goodness, and they were like a little bit better this year. But for a lot of the seasons, I mean, geez, to come up with 162 games of just, all right.
And they're going nowhere. They're not spending, and they're still not going anywhere because they're not spending anything. You know what I mean? So, yeah, dude.
Yeah. God, and at least Dolphins, there's always going to be interest. So whether things are good or bad, I mean, we went through. Listen, we've gone through just 25 years of still no playoff wins, and obviously this is the one fan base down here where it's always been loyal. I think probably the Heat have maybe gained a little bit of that to an extent because they had all those championship runs. So I think now there is a loyal fan base, where right before all that, then there was, it was iffy a little bit on if fans were on the bandwagon and then jumping off, and then LeBron comes and after coming off the Shaq and Wade championship, and then now we're back on the bandwagon. Where I think now they've kind of established they also have a loyal fan base. The Dolphins are the one that always does. Maybe the Panthers will because now they've won back to back.
Yeah,
the Canes have somewhat of it, but you still see when they're playing poorly, then that stadium is empty, and then now people are coming back when they were up to number 2, just lost, of course, but. The Dolphins is the team. NFL is king, and just there's always going to be interest. People, even if people aren't interested in the week to week, it's just on Sunday afternoons. People in South Florida are still going to be tuning in to see what's happening with the Dolphins.
Oh, always. There's no doubt about it. But see, the thing is that, and I know you're not one of them. That's why I'm talking to you about this. Some media members. They feed off of this. They actually want it to be a disaster because disasters and we love watching the train crash. That's kind of what we are all about as a society. But I know how you are, probably like me. This is not fun. It's not fun to want to have to cover losing all the time. It's not fun to walk into a locker room and ask somebody about losing. And then it's not fun to cover losing on a consistent basis. Some media members who have no connection to the community or the team, they won't care. But since you're a Miami guy like I am, it kind of bothers you a little bit that you have to cover bad news all the time. And that's not very motivating, actually. It's not fun. You know what I mean? It's because I know you're not having fun at their despair. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that definitely not. I consider my job fun, regardless. I get to cover sports for a living, so that's I feel pretty fortunate, just to be able to say that. But certainly, there's like a short term span where because this is new stuff, or it's fresh to just bash the team in the short term. But there's only so long that could take you, because you can't just do that for, once it becomes the norm of, all right, 1-6 becomes, if it's 2-9 down the road or something, 2-11, if it's 3-12, records like that. And you're it really wears on you, and you got to go into the locker room and ask guys who are more down on it because they themselves are the ones that are losing games. Than you or the fans are. And, you got to go ask them what ends up being a lot of the same questions, because nothing new is happening. It's you try to find new stuff within the losing, but it's just all of it is the same and repetitive. So it feels like Patrick Paul said in the locker room last game in Cleveland after the loss. One of the things he said was, it's the same speech over and over again, and we got to stop talking. We got to start doing. It's kind of the same way with the interviews. If it all gets repetitive, it's the same speech, it's the same conversation. If you keep covering a team that's losing every time, so you hope that they sprinkle in some success, but then also that sort of deters your draft pick possibilities, if so. So. I know a lot of fans are already ready for the tank, but yeah, it turns into a long season for sure.
Yeah, we're in the middle of it at this point in time, because whether they think they're tanking or not, it's just unfortunately not working out well. Injury wise, it looks like Waddle now is banged up going into this game.
Yeah, it was interesting because Thursday when we watched practice before the injury report comes out, then he's doing mostly workouts on the side. Which was new because he was practicing Wednesday. By all intents and purposes, it seemed like he was fine coming off the hit that he took late in the Browns game. He said he was fine to me after the game on Wednesday. Asked again after practice Wednesday, and he said he was fine. I don't think it's related to that because he's listed for both hamstrings on the injury report. So that's interesting. Maybe it's just a minor tweak. We got to find out more when Mike McDaniel speaks and is asked that question today. But obviously not something you want to see for an offense that is already down Tyreek Hill for the season, just had Darren Waller go on IR. And then now if Jalen Waddle is also down, who, by the way, you struggle to target in this game, in this past game, as he is now the number one. He has been active the previous 2 games without Tyreek Hill, but couldn't get him going against Cleveland. I know conditions weren't ideal and whatever, but then you fell behind, and so you were going to be passing, and you still couldn't.
There were times you couldn't get Tyreek involved either. It took you a year to get a 30-yard reception. There are times where you use Walden and then you don't use him. There is no rhyme or reason to this offense. Unfortunately, and I laugh at the Tua comments, because I think there's a lot of double meaning to what's going on, and people don't understand it. And people are commenting on the short quarterback thing. That's been going on for 50 years in the league. Anybody that's 6'1", 6 foot, 5'11", 5'10", 5'9", you're going to struggle to see over the line, dude, at times. Many, many times you're going to struggle to see over the line. So it's just kind of when he talks about operations, that there's problems. And when he talks about not seeing over the line also in those situations, he's kind of telling you that the blocking scheme is also all screwed up. And when you don't have a blocking scheme that's under control, you don't give the quarterback the passing lanes. But he's not going to tell flat out to everybody out on the podium, I can't see because they're not blocking well and they're not giving me passing lanes. And that's why you need a really good offensive line in front of quarterbacks that are shorter. So you can control the pocket and you can give the quarterback the passing lanes. And then that way he doesn't see over the top. He sees it in chapters. And that's the guy that's 5'9" or the guy that's 6'1". The guy that's 6'4", 6'5", maybe 6'3", has a chance to see over some of those guys who are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", with their arms up. They're also going to struggle at times. You know what I mean? So it's something that gets exaggerated, but it's also something that doesn't get actually broken down to what he was actually talking about. But he's not going to just throw it out there and say, hey, our blocking is so screwed up. It just makes this all that much harder. His play calling is so screwed up. It makes it that much harder. Your lack of dedication to the run game is screwed up. It makes it that much harder. The fact that you can't get a play in on time makes it that much harder. It just, I can go on and on and on and on and all of that, but it's fun. Just talk about the short quarterback and try to use it as a joke when you really don't understand what he's talking about.
Exactly, Big O. It's a tale as old as time. Is the short quarterback obviously is going to have struggles seeing over the line. That's why a lot of quarterbacks are taller. And then actually there was kind of like almost a renaissance of short quarterbacks in not so long ago. Like Drew Brees had success. Oh my, okay, maybe teams can alter this thinking. Russell Wilson had success. Then you see Kyler Murray, who was an extreme example.
Dominant. Seattle and New Orleans had dominant offensive lines. They had dominant centers and guards that opened things up for the running game and the passing game. Tua has none of that, but he's just not going to flat out trash everything. He's just going to say, well, our operations are a little bit dysfunctional, and I'm having trouble seeing over the line and all that. And so then the person that doesn't understand it, which is a lot of you out there, you then start doing that short stuff and the jokes, and you're really kind of dumb and you don't really figure out what he's actually talking about in a football sense. And this is nothing new, bro. You think Greasy was able to see over everybody all the time? No, of course not, dude. Give me a break. It's just really silly.
But he had a great offensive line back then in the 70s. And I think a lot of the criticism is just the piling on of Tua right now, because it's the easy thing to do right now. The team is 1-6. He's coming off back-to-back 3 interception games. And then so people are literally listening to the Tua press conferences to be like, what can I make something out of? Because I heard the comment and I was just like, I just went, right on about it. It didn't strike me as anything. Maybe for me, because I've covered him, and I've been at basically every Tua interview since I've been on the beat, and I've heard him say this multiple times before. The first time I heard it,
he told you when he's completed a pass that was a big play that he didn't see the player. He's throwing to a spot. It's like he's done that 100 times. It's like, and then all of a sudden it's something, and it just shows how fans, sorry guys out there, that a lot of you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about or you're watching. And so, that's kind of the way it goes, but that's all right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And it's not even something that you need to have played the game before to understand. It's like, no, if you're a quarterback, you have the biggest men on the field in front of you on the line, both on the offensive line and defensive line. Yeah, just by pure physics, the short quarterback over a big line, he's got to get the ball over. It's just like it just makes sense. It's not even something that you have to have done before. You don't have to be a high school quarterback to understand this concept. So, a
scout told me once. I'm at a bar with a scout, and we're smoking some cigars, and he goes, "Put the cigar down." And I go, "What?" Put it down. All right. I want you to go over to this table, and I want you to put your hands like a quarterback and go under and lean down. And so I did that, and he goes, "What are you seeing now at this height?" And this was years ago. This has nothing to do with Tua. And he goes, "What are you seeing at this?" And I go, "Well, it's really low at this point." He goes, "Okay, so now imagine you're standing as a quarterback under, and you're behind mammoth linemen that are in front of you. And the second you take a snap, they're standing, you're crouching and standing up, and they're in front of you and holding up their arms and all that kind of stuff." And he goes, "It's impossible for you to see the entire field unless you're 6'6". You're going to miss parts of the field." And so he explained to me how blocking and passing lanes become so important to a quarterback, because in certain angles, even when you're a tall guy, you're not seeing everything, but you're seeing it in pieces develop so you can anticipate and throw ahead of time. And that's what they call throwing through windows.
Yeah.
Okay. In different levels. And that's a gift that the kid has. But unfortunately, if you don't build it right in front of him, like they haven't, this is what ends up happening, unfortunately. But it's just an adjustment that they all make. And the good ones can make the adjustment, but you have to help them, dude. If you don't block for the Breezes of the world or the Greasies of the world or the Russell Wilsons of the world, you're just not going to get it done. But those players had success because the people in front of them could block, and they always could hand it off to somebody that was a threat. Tua's never had that. He's never had that.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
You got Devon Achane now. Obviously, the run game is never really committed to as much as many would like. But yeah, I mean, Tua right now, both starters on the right side of the line have been out since week 1. 3 plays into the season, he loses the right guard, the veteran free agent signing, who the team dished out the biggest free agent contract this offseason to help solidify the line. You lose him 3 plays into the season. You have Austin Jackson, who you extended, who was a former first-round pick at right tackle, who protects Tua's blind side, by the way. He goes down later in that same game. So now you have backups at both those positions. By the way, you're on your 4th different right guard. Cole Strange is 4th different right guard. You have a rookie at left guard who hasn't really developed yet. You hope you have something in him for the future, but he hasn't played well yet. Patrick Paul has done really well as a first-year starter, second-year player, but still.
Brewer and Paul. That's it. It's Brewer and Paul. Those are the only 2 guys that you can count on every week is Brewer and Paul. Everybody else has problems,
Yeah, and the right side of the line, those are backups. They're backups for a reason. Not only that, you don't have Liam Eichenberg. I know fans are going to be like, no, not him. But let me tell you, right now, if Liam Eichenberg was out there, he'd at least give you a little bit better of a shot. If he was your top backup coming in, like, say, for example, when James Daniels went down, if you had him to just throw in there at right guard, because he's done it before and he's been in the system for so long. Plus Andrew Meyer, a guy they really liked. He hasn't been available since early in training camp. So they're deep down into, Cole Strange was just picked up, and then 2 weeks later they're going to him. So they're dealing with it with this line, and it makes it tough on Tua.
I am, I laugh at people out there, oh, there's going to be a fire sale. There's not going to be a fire sale, bro. I'm sticking to it. Chubb's really the only guy I think that's going to go, if anybody goes, in the trading deadline. It would have been Chubb and Tyreek, but obviously Tyreek now is done. So I'm still sticking with my story. I'm still sticking that it's Chubb, the only one that could possibly go. Where are you at with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm between Chubb and Phillips is a possibility, but I could see Chubb more because, he does have 4 sacks this season, so he's kind of shown, all right, he is beyond the knee injury that then took him all of 2024. He's produced more this season, been solid against the run, so which not many can say on this defense, but at least he's provided something there, all things considered. So I feel like, he is one there. Jalen Phillips is still coming off of back-to-back season-ending deals.
You're not going to get anything. Nobody's giving you shit for Jalen Phillips, dude.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So you might be better off just holding on to him. So I think one of the edge rushers, so that then you could get Chop Robinson also into some starter snaps again.
You can't trade Chubb and Phillips and then leave Chop again alone. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not saying both. I'm saying between. Yeah.
Can't do that. You gotta keep and Phillips needs a playing time, so you can decide to tag him at the end of the year for 1 year or something if you want to just hold him or something like that. I don't know, but
you can,
yeah. Huh? What?
Yes, that you can, but yeah. I don't know. But I don't know if you would want to at the cost of a franchise tag.
No, not what's the other tag?
Oh, like a transition tag. I got to look up what they would cost next season, but they're always because it's the combination of the top 5 average annual values of the position, and that always becomes very, very expensive. So it's kind of got to be like almost an elite player at the position that you're just not sure if you want to commit long term to.
Definitely not a franchise tag. You can't give him a franchise tag, but or you could negotiate like a 1 or 2 year deal with him at a reason. He can't ask for a lot of money.
Yeah,
he really can't ask for a ton of money. But then again, he may also want a fresh start and get the hell out of here too, which I don't.
For JP, I don't know because JP loves Miami. He now is engaged to a woman he met in Miami. They're having a kid together. So, there's also like personal things that come into play for these players. So I bet he would love to stay in South Florida. I mean, he's taken a lot of initiative with like Dolphins Cancer Challenge. He's like the lead player as far as being on the board for that event. So I feel like he's very involved with the Dolphins, with the community. Is trying to build a family here. So
yeah, maybe you could get a cheap 1 or 2 year deal and you put some incentives in it. And if he actually stays healthy, but I'd rather keep him for the rest of the year and see if he actually turns the corner and plays better or whatever. But trading him now, you're going to get a 6th rounder, bro. Nobody's going to give you shit. You're not getting any high pick for Jalen Phillips. Nobody's trading for him. He isn't performing and he's injury prone. It's hard, bro. It's hard for somebody to really risk a high pick and you have to let him go or sign him to the same problem that Miami will have. You know what I mean? And then that becomes another issue for you. So I just think I still think Chubb is the only guy that goes. If anyone goes, it'll be Chubb.
I think one of the proposed trades I saw on one article was like a day 3 pick swap of, you get a 4th, but you trade either a 6th or a 7th with Jalen Phillips. So it's like, all right, you get, you bump up your 6th or 7th to a 4th. There's some value, but even then, that's just not much for what you can get if you do get a good season out of Jalen Phillips going forward. So I'm with you. Because I'm definitely saying no, not both. You can't go and send both Chubb and Phillips out, but one of them, it's kind of between the two, and then I would lean Chubb. I guess I would lean Chubb a little bit more.
Chubb has a window anyway. Chubb has a window in this deal to get out in the offseason for the team anyway. So they were probably going to think about that moving forward because you cannot pay 3 defensive ends. You just can't, dude. You can pay 2, but you better draft that 3rd one and be developing him and that kind of stuff. And that's what they have to do, down the line, whoever's in charge. I think that will be their decision next year when they add the new GM, overall. Shit, what was I going to ask you?
And just to make one final point on that, you haven't been able to get Chop Robinson in any kind of rhythm, pass rushing, because he's playing limited snaps. He's a backup to these guys. I mean, it's not even like it's a true rotation. If you look at his snap counts week to week, he's got significantly fewer week to week. So, you're not seeing the same like second half of last year Chop that you saw. So he probably needs to get into a little bit more of a rhythm with one of them guys. And I think for the Dolphins, they expected, all right, between Chubb and Phillips, you're not going to be healthy all year with both of them. One of them is going to go down. Chop can come in, and to their credit, they've been healthy and they've remained the starters. So you haven't been able to get Chop on the field, but you need to as a first round pick from just the previous season. Need to get him going.
Somebody's asking about the Jordan Brooks deal because they guaranteed him some money. That kind of keeps him here for next year, right?
I think it's just more of like a short-term free up some cash. They might have some kind of move in the works that or needed to get under a certain number. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think it's like I
don't think that move is something that triggers a trade, is what I'm saying. I think he's still here throughout the year, is what I'm saying. I think.
Oh, right, yeah. No, I'm not. I don't think they're trying to get rid of him, move him. But free up some cash for something. We'll see what that something turns out to be.
All right, good stuff there. What are you working on this Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Yeah, I think just leading into this game against the Falcons, going to detail the level of urgency for this team and how they are trying to respond to Mike McDaniel's coaching as he sticks around, and if anything is different going into this game. And I have stories up from yesterday. Kenneth Grant, how he has been showing some signs, and last 2 weeks. The new Jalen Waddle injury, and then also backup quarterback job kind of like in flux now with Quinn Ewers and Zach Wilson. Quinn Ewers supplants Zach Wilson, and then they're still saying it's a competition week to week, but then Mike McDaniel wants one of them to be the guy backing up Tua, so breaking that down.
You believe in that?
As far as like the matchup thing?
The believing that, the matchup thing, that he's just the number 2 for now. I'm not believing any of that. Of that. By the way, what did you read into McDaniel not even looking at Ewers when he came off the field? And Tua went over to, hey, man, good job, console him and all that kind of stuff. Did you see that video?
Ooh, okay, I might have missed that. I know the one of Mike McDaniel going like this, like after the interception when they were backed up.
Right off the field towards McDaniel. And, dude, McDaniel doesn't even acknowledge his existence. And then Tua's the guy that comes to, hey, and he's walking away. It almost feels like, yo, dude, I know how you feel. Don't worry about it. It's a really dysfunctional thing that you're in there for. Don't worry about it. It's kind of like that, It's it just you should check out that video. Sean, if you have it, send it to Furones, because I know you saw it also. He might be able to find it. If he finds it, he'll send it to you. But yeah, dude, it's like odd. And again, for me, Zach was his guy. The front office picked Ewers. So
I can see that, because I totally feel Zach Wilson was like Mike McDaniel out of pride, a reclamation project. He wants to take him in, see what he can turn him into. Instead of, they could have just gotten a proven veteran backup, although, that hasn't really shown itself. It's like Tua hasn't been injured. It's been Tua for this 1-6 start. So that's not like a reason why this team is 1-6.
No.
On a deeper level, though.
Right. Yeah. But it just kind of shows you that, when it comes to, he's not really a quarterback guru, is what I'm trying to point out. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part that sucks. All right. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. David, have a safe travel. Enjoy Atlanta, baby.
Yes,
Post pandemic. Good for you, bro. Nice. All right, brother. Good. There you go. Welt and Rayom. We thank them, of course, for this segment. We thank them for their amazing support for over 5 years. From day one of this platform, Welton Rayom have been with us. They've taken care of a lot of our listeners over the years here in South Florida, on the West Coast, and the Gold Coast, in Central Florida. 954-966-4646. Hurricane season, storm season, torrential downpour. We had listeners out west when they were pounded by a couple of storms 2 years ago. They called Welton Rayom, several of them. They're in much better place. If you're dealing with bankruptcy, condo damage, criminal defense, commercial litigation, personal injury, business owner claims, please call Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom. The consultation's completely free, and they have their own adjusters. So they will send their adjusters to assess all the damage, and then they call the insurance company on your behalf. You never have to deal with the insurance company. That's like you never get a headache. All you do is pick up a check at Welton Rayom. Call them. Consultation's free. Jeff and Dan will talk to you. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
All right. Let's see if they've recovered. Let's see if they can bounce back against Stanford, the one and only Manny Navarro. How you feeling, baby?
Doing good, how about yourself?
I cannot complain unless they screw it up against Stanford, which Stanford is so bad. It's, I don't know, is that like FIU West or something right now? I mean, they should be able to take care of business, right?
Well, they should, but Stanford did beat Florida State last week, and their starting quarterback, who I thought had been knocked out and was probably going to miss this game, is going to end up playing and starting for them. So, look, I think after what we saw last week, with this team sort of having an emotional letdown and not coming out and firing on all cylinders from the beginning and getting themselves in a whole lot of trouble, you can't count anything out these days. And we've seen this program before show up not ready to play and get beat by teams that they should dominate. So I would say I hope, the Hurricanes are past that at this point in the Mario Cristobal era. They were number 2 in the country not too long ago. But these are still young players and guys that can lose focus easily. So I would say if you gave me $100 to put on this game, I'd probably pick Stanford to keep it under 30.
Oh, the point spread. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So
30 seems pretty large to me.
So did Florida State just drug Alabama that time, and then that's it? They've been a disaster ever since. Is that what happened, or something? Did they Aaron Pryor the bitch? Did they put something in their bottles of water or something? Or like, what happened?
It just shows you how volatile this sport is, brother. It's not what it was before, right? You could wake up and just pick a favorite and say, oh, this team's going to come out and kill somebody else. Indiana and Vanderbilt are going to make the college football playoff. Oh, I mean, who would have ever imagined us living in a world like that?
Yeah.
Right. But that's the world we're living in now. I think when you don't have a lot of loyalty to your programs, right? Guys just thinking, well, I'm going to get in the transfer portal and find somewhere else or go get paid somewhere else because they don't value me here. Creates an era, an era of football where teams quit and players quit. And, I think we've seen that a lot more in this sport.
How bad was this past week, dude? Because what I saw against Louisville, like I expected Louisville to give them some trouble, but I didn't expect them to dominate them on both sides of the ball. I didn't expect them to be the more physical team. There were things that I was really, really shocked how Louisville punched them in the mouth and they didn't respond. And this was a team that was punching everybody else in the mouth all year long. And somehow or another, they got bullied. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think Louisville employed some cut blocking schemes on offense that really frustrated Miami's defensive line. And, I'm surprised that they weren't better prepared for it because, in all honesty, I think Corey Heatherman's a really good coach. And knowing that Jeff Brom is going to come out with some unique stuff and different looking stuff, you figured, somebody would have brought that up in the meeting room, be prepared for cut blocks and let's practice that this week. But they were totally rendered meaningless. And that's really why Miami was so good through their first 5 games. It's because of Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor and that defensive line and that front seven putting a whole lot of pressure on opposing teams. But look, the blueprint was laid out. And I think Florida State, certainly from a defensive perspective, when they played Miami, they got cooked by Carson Beck that day. But their whole concept of we're going to just completely shut down the run and sell out to stop the run and dare you to beat us with your arm. Louisville basically copied that and did the same exact thing to Miami and said, okay, we've got a better secondary. We're going to throw zone at you. And, we know Carson Beck can throw a lot of interceptions. Let's see what he does in this game. And, going forward, the next 6 games, I guarantee you a lot of the game plans Miami is going to be exactly the same as this. And so now it's a matter of, do you have a counterpunch? Do you have a quarterback who's going to keep his wits about him and not lose his mind and throw into triple coverage?
But was it cut blocking for the offensive line that they could not do their job? I get it on the D line that they were surprised, but on the O line, that's what it was. I mean, what was it? The Miami O line did not push Louisville around. They could not establish the run, which is, that's the bread and butter of a Mario Cristobal team.
100% accurate. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's a very simplistic running game. There's no new wrinkles to it. And I think, you look at, there's a couple, you can go to the analytics and compare this offensive line to last year's. I think from a pass blocking perspective, without question, this is a better unit than the one they had a year ago. Even with Cam Ward, teams don't get a whole lot of pressure on Carson Beck. It's just the stats back it up. But where you really see a huge disparity with this offensive line is yards before contact on rushes, which is a number that really tells you how good your offensive line is at run blocking. Last year, I think Miami was top 30 in run blocking in terms of being able to create, yardage before contact. This year, they're 108th among all FBS schools. So the
back is working harder.
Yeah, the backs are having to work harder, and teams are stacking the box. And I think part of that is because Carson Beck isn't as good a quarterback as Cam Ward was. Cam Ward would kill you down the field. Carson Beck throws more interceptions. And so teams don't have to respect the passing game nearly as much as they do or they did Cam Ward. And so you were able to run the ball a little bit better. But, you had different guys blocking on this offensive line too. You had guys that are now in the NFL that are no longer here. And you've replaced them with guys that maybe just aren't as good at the point of a tank.
All right. Well, Carson talked about in the last interception was somebody that ran the wrong route there.
Yep.
Does it seem like any of the other interceptions had anything to do with that? Is the communication on offense still a bit of a struggle for the passing game? Talk to me there.
I think what he's got is he's got two good receivers, right? He's got C.J. Daniels and Malachi Tony, and Keelan Marion is a number 3 that probably shouldn't be a number 3. He should have gone up and fought for that ball that got picked on the pump fake, and instead, Louisville player, give him credit, made a great break on the ball and caught the ball. So, are they all on Carson Beck? No. Certainly, I think, there's probably been a couple interceptions this year where we're not entirely his fault, but the bottom line is he's just making bad decisions. You shouldn't be throwing into triple coverage to Malachi Tony. He's 5'10". That's not the guy you throw a jump ball to.
No.
So I just think part of it is decision making, part of it is play calling. All in all, this offense just isn't as good as last year's. We knew that. The problem for Miami was they fell behind 14-0 against Louisville, and they had to dig themselves out of a hole and just never really could. Because they couldn't establish the run. And I think they put too much on Carson Beck. And when Carson Beck has a balanced running game around him, he's a much better quarterback. When he isn't, when he doesn't have that, it's not as good. It's the reality.
All right. Well, in the Big Cheese NIL and recruiting report, we want to find out any effects there. Were there any effects on the recruiting side to the Louisville loss?
Yeah, no defects yet. Nobody who's dropped out of the class. But I think this is one of those inflection points for Mario where you're at the midway point of your 4th season on the job. You've had nothing but success here up until last week. You had a bunch of kids interested in coming to play here, to come in to compete for national championships. But I think going forward, this is one of those moments where you lose another game down the stretch here. You don't make the college football playoff. Now you're in year 4 and you're still not delivering on your promises. So I think all the pressure is on this program going forward. These next 6 games. I think if they get to
he cannot lose another game.
No, he can't. And
he has
to
run the table through the ACC championship game, and the next loss better be in the college playoffs. That's the way I look at it for Mario. He loses one more game, it's a failed season. Period.
Agreed. And I think. And it's not going to be easy because, SMU and Pitt are programs that aren't jokes, right? They're pretty good programs. They're hosting Miami in those games. You're a 30-point favorite this week. Go out and look like one. Start to build some confidence up again. So, but right now they haven't lost anybody in terms of the recruiting front. But I would warn Miami fans: the moment you lose the next one, and you don't take a step forward this season, you create the narrative for everybody else. This guy ain't going nowhere.
Right. Yeah. It becomes a domino effect. So that's why I'm saying I had you at 11-1 anyways this year. I figured you'd get tripped once at least because you're not that good to go undefeated. All right. You got your loss. Now you got to run the table, bro. I mean, with the resources you have and the talent you've been able to recruit, there's no more excuses. You have to be in the ACC championship game, and you better win the ACC championship game, and that's it. If you don't do that, you have failed once again.
Well, there's a chance, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but there is a chance because Miami does not play Georgia Tech or Virginia. They do play SMU. Those are the 3 unbeaten teams in the ACC right now in terms of conference play. There's a chance that Miami can take care of business, win all 6 of their remaining games, finish 7-1, and not get to the ACC championship game.
That would be great.
But I think a lot of people still feel that because of their non-conference wins over Notre Dame and USF, who USF happens to be the leader right now in the clubhouse to get the group of 6 bid to the playoff, that Miami would still make the playoffs anyway at 11-1. And I tend to agree that I think if they go 11-1, they'll get one of the last spots. But I think any losses to get them to 10-2 and they don't play in the ACC championship,
yeah, no, done.
No chance whatsoever.
Yeah. I think those teams will trip up and give Miami a chance to get into the ACC championship game when it's all said and done. So we'll see. We'll see if that ends up happening. Any big recruits at the Stanford game tomorrow?
Yeah, there's 3 guys that they're trying to flip or trying to add to the class that'll be there that are big targets. Milan Paris is the first one. He's a receiver from blue chip receiver, 6'5", 205 pounds from Ohio. He's made official visits to Oklahoma and Oregon already. Has an official visit to Auburn. Miami really could use another big physical receiver on the outside. And then, they got a couple other guys, a former Clemson edge rusher, Drake Quinn, and a tight end commitment for Colorado, Gavin Mueller. He's a top 10 tight end at his position. He's from Illinois. So those 3 guys are supposed to be here this weekend. They've also got some of their own commits, including Jackson Cantwell, who should be their starting right tackle next season when Francis Mauigoa leaves for the NFL. So they'll have guys in attendance. But again, for Mario, the best way to put this to bed is to show up and look like a team that should beat Stanford by 30, not one that's fighting for its life. Because I think you start creating this narrative, oh, man, these guys are just overrated. They're not that good. They shouldn't even be in the top 10. Just asking for it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, visit our friends at the Big Cheese, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. Anything and everything can be a party platter. So we got the holiday season coming up. So if you're going to plan something for your employees or a school or anything like that, or your business, call the Big Cheese, 305-662-6855. Visit them for lunch or dinner. And they also have the patio area that you can rent out for parties, get-togethers, business events, whatever, up to 40 people in that party patio there at the Big Cheese. So check it out, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. Go to BigCheeseMiami.com. Manny, you and I will talk tomorrow night after the Canes hopefully take care of business against Stanford.
Yep. Look forward to it, brother. Talk soon.
Ben, you got it. BigCheeseMiami.com, NIL, and recruiting report.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!
Right. Oh, man. Andrew Watson, thank you for the love on Venmo, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Big O, with NBA betting scandal, ever wonder if the Finns are fixing? Taking Waller out of the game inexplicably. Now that's just, they didn't use Gesicki. He doesn't use big receivers. They signed the big receiver in the offseason. He hasn't used them. A guy that had no quarterback in Tennessee last year, caught 9 touchdowns, can't do anything here. It's just a bad coach, bro. Our owner offering hundreds of thousands of dollars to the head coach. Yeah, that did happen with Flo. But here, now, there has been no fixing going on at 1-6. Okay, everybody's getting fired. I already told you guys this a couple of weeks ago that they're firing Greer and they're firing McDaniel at the end of the year. They're done. Okay, so now what could happen is, now that we're at this point and we know that the coach is incompetent and can't get it done, and we know that Ross is definitely an avid cheater because he's tried to cheat many, many times. It's not like it's only once, many times. So you could, at this point, start saying, well, maybe I don't make a change. Why not? This idiot can't coach. I'd rather just lose all our games. It's not like he gives a shit. He doesn't talk in public. You know what I'm saying? So there is no tanking. They're just incompetent. Now, from here on moving forward, if you're the owner and you decide to keep the guy in place, well, now you know. Yeah. Now you're not trying, Andrew. But there was no tanking to get to 1-6 or 1-5. What are they? 1-5? 1-5. They'll be 1-6 after Sunday. So yeah. And I've never heard of any players fixing anything in football. That I have not. Sweet Baby Ray, thank you for the love. On Cash App, he says, Billups is in the Hall of Fame. Should he be removed if guilty? They won't. They won't remove him because it's not an NBA thing that he was fixing games. It's a poker thing that he was robbing from people. So, yeah, I understand that, the integrity part of it and all that, but because it's not really NBA games, no. I don't think they'll do it, bro. I don't think they'll touch him at all. But thank you, sir, of course, for the donation. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Rojas says, Big O, I don't know if you touched on it already. I might have missed it, but where do you rank Ohtani's performance? Ohtani is the greatest baseball player of all time. Period. He's the greatest player of all time, and that's the greatest performance of all time. Nobody's ever done that. And when Babe Ruth was a pitcher and a hitter, it was in, at the beginning of the 1900s, bro. So I'm not going to compare it to what goes on now. Ohtani is the greatest player of all time, period, end of story. No one has been ever been able to do what he does. No one. So, yeah, I mean, by far, that is the greatest baseball player of all time. Greatest performance of all time, and he is just the best player ever. Nobody has ever been like this, dude. So dominant on both sides of the ball. That's ridiculous, dude. That's just stupid what Ohtani's doing. He is just a superior player to everyone on the planet. Something that genetically none of us ever expected that could ever be created. A guy that goes out there and is as good on the mound as he is at the plate. That's stupid. And Babe Ruth did it for a very short time. And as his career expanded as a hitter, it shrunk as a pitcher. So, that's why he is no Ohtani. No one is Ohtani. We've never seen anything like this. So I would put Ohtani in a class all by himself. Yeah. Just ridiculous, dude. Absolutely ridiculous. What do we have here on the chat board? Devin says, I think every word Tua says is under a microscope because the team is losing. Of course. But whatever, man. People can have fun with it. Knock themselves out. It is what it is. He's got the money. He had the expectations. He hasn't met them. He's played bad. And so he's opened himself up to this. But, there's a reason why not only him, but a lot of people are playing bad. It's because the guy that runs the team. So when you have an incompetent head coach, it's really hard, how Darren Waller disappears in games when he's there and you don't use him. It's the weirdest thing in the world. I'm just so tired of Mike McDaniel, whatever. I just can't wait till they get rid of everybody and start all over again. And we'll see if somehow or another we get lucky and get one person that actually knows what the hell they're doing. So let's see. Thank you, Yearly Man. I appreciate you. AJ, what's up, Big O? Are you reporting that they'll both get fired? Is that I already did that a couple of weeks ago, AJ. Welcome to late news for you, buddy. We were first, and everybody else. We told everybody that they're firing Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel. They're both gone. Let's see what else. Question: you say Greer and Mike are gone. Do you feel anyone will hire those two after they are let go? Yeah, McDaniel will get hired by one of his crony coaches, or maybe absorb him as some kind of an assistant. I could see that landing with one of the guys, LaFleur or whatever, one of the other guys from that tree. So I can see him maybe taking a year off and then getting in there. As for Greer, I think he'll stay in the organization. So, consultant or whatever they'll say or something like that. So I think he'll end up staying in the organization. He just won't be running football operations anymore. Let's see, what else do we have? I've never been the guy that talks GOAT in any sport until they've played at least a decade. Well, I mean, if you add what he's done, in Asia, it's pretty much a decade, right? Because he was there for several years dominating, and now he comes over here and dominates. So that tells me he's the real deal no matter what. And it had nothing to do with he's Chinese, right? The Chinese baseball league. I want to say it's Chinese, not Japanese, right? I'm sorry if I got that wrong. But yeah, he's the real deal, bro. I've never seen anything like this. Never seen anything like this. I tip my hat to that guy, bro. Wow. He is just an absolute freak of all freaks. So, let's see. Tua will be fine. He's laughing at everyone. Tua will get it. Tua will end up somewhere else. And the good thing for Tua is they'll cut him, so he'll become free, and he'll be able to pick wherever he wants to go. And I'm sure he's going to try to pick somewhere where they actually, block and run and all that kind of stuff. And then it'll be interesting to see if he can actually succeed or not. And then that'll settle that. I do know this: nobody succeeds here. So I know it's not a Tua thing. I know it's not a Mac Hollins thing. I just know it's not. I know that everybody that leaves here is usually better off going to somewhere else because this place is not good. So we'll see. And that'll be fun. And everybody can have a good time with that and kill the kid or praise the kid. One of the two. But I know this, man, so many of you will be rooting for him to fail, because if he succeeds and doesn't succeed here, man, you'll be really frustrated. You'll be wrong, and your team got again, like the Drew Brees one. But hey, that's how it goes. Smash the like button. Let's go. We're not over 100 yet. Get it going. JD, there's no picks to make right now. We haven't gone through an entire season. We don't even know if they have the number 1 pick. We don't even know if they have the number 3 pick. We don't know if they have the 10th pick. We don't know if there'll be a quarterback available when they pick. We don't know if any of these quarterbacks are even worth taking. So I'm not getting into the silly hypotheticals, dude. We'll wait till we have all the facts and everything's in. Right now, that's for silly Dolphin shows that have nothing else to talk about. And, all they do is talk Dolphins, and so they can start to speculate and do all those silly things. I'm not into that, man. By the way, Oronde Gadsden II, 5 for 77 and a touchdown. Stop whining already. Yes, he has 300 yards in 3 games. Stop being a little whiny bitch. Okay? You didn't get him. So what? They wouldn't have thrown to him anyways. We have Mike McDaniel as the head coach. So don't worry about it. Tyler Warren or whatever it is, we would have ruined the kid anyways. That's just kind of the way it goes. So don't knock yourselves and kill yourselves over stuff that it just doesn't matter right now. The Dolphins, who they are who they are, and nothing's going to change it. And we've had lots of good players come and go through here. So don't kill yourselves about something that, another silly hypothetical, what if? What if we got Drew Brees, right? What if we didn't trade for Robin Senline? What if we didn't pick Sammy Smith? And what if we didn't pick Eric Kumaro? And I get all of that, dude. I get all of that. What if we took Anquan Bolden instead of, was it John Avery? No, it was Eddie Moore. Whatever, dude. What if we take Arande? What if we take that? Why do you do this to yourselves? Okay? You didn't take it. You don't have it. They're gone. It is what it is. Anyway, the other thing that I've been watching, and it's a story where you got to try to decipher what's going on, and you feel bad for the young man. Unfortunately, he's done a lot of stupid shit on his own, but you don't wish the injury on anybody. And Tyreek Hill was on with Teron Armstead yesterday, and he was asked about his future. And one of the things that right now where he's at, I love the approach that he took, because really it's the only realistic approach you can take if you're Tyreek Hill, because right now you're in the unknown. And because you're in the unknown, you really don't know where you're going in life. And there's no doubt in my mind that Tyreek Hill wants to play again. Now, the way he said it, he goes, at the end of the day, I feel like that decision is based on how I feel, where my mindset is at the moment. I'm happy with the career I've had. I love playing football. I love it, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot on you mentally. It takes a lot on you physically. I'm at the point now where I need to have the conversation with my mom, family, everybody. Whenever my mind is at the time, the decision will be made. But I know right now I haven't had time to live in the moment. So I can tell you what's going to happen. Okay, here's my prediction. Tyreek Hill badly wants to play, but Tyreek Hill doesn't know after this major surgery if he's ever going to be able to play again, if he's ever going to be in the kind of shape or speed that he knows he needs in order to be himself out on the field. That's the unknown. And until Tyreek Hill gets healthy enough to run like that again or not, that's when he'll make the decision. It ain't about his family or his kids or anything. He's got 8 baby mamas, 4,000 kids, and he's going to be broke very soon. So this is a man that loves to play football, and it's really all he knows. And it's really the only way he makes money. He wants to play. He's just taking, giving you the PC comment, because he really can't go out on a limb and say, yeah, I'm going to be back, because he doesn't know. Because the damage to the knee was bad. So now he's got to first repair it. There's no doubt in my mind he wants to play. The question is, will Tyreek Hill be able to play again? That's the part. But the position that he's in, it's a tough one, because he just doesn't know how bad that injury will set him back, and he's already in his 30s now. So that will not be good. On Tua, by the way, he goes, you know how it is when you're 1-5, everybody's got something to say. Everybody apparently on the hot seat. It's a tough situation. When we were winning, things were good. People could say whatever, and it would just go out the window. I'm going to support Tua regardless of what he's got going on, because that's my brother. I kind of feel what he's saying. That should show people that he wants to win. And again, right approach for him. Tyreek has to also, and he was doing it before the injury, he has to take a mature approach to all of this because he has to be attractive to other teams. So he can't sound disgruntled or pissed or whatever. So really smart. Maybe he means this and everything. I don't know. Probably does. But it is the right approach that he is taking. But the one thing that I would call bullshit on, he wants to play badly. This is a guy that loves attention. And he has no other vehicle in his life that will give him that attention. He can go back to streaming and all that, but his streaming won't mean shit and his comments won't mean shit if he's not Tyreek Hill on the field. The day he stops being Tyreek Hill on the field, nobody will give a shit about what he's saying on his, stream while he's gaming. Won't care. Former player, nothing more. Move on. Former player, crazy dude saying crazy things. That's what they'll say. But right attitude, the scary part for Tyreek Hill is his career may be over and he just doesn't know it yet. That sucks. That sucks because you don't want to end your career the way he ended it. With the team like this, with a season like that, all those kind of things. We'll see how it develops. But I'm sure you'll sense a different Tyreek if he finds out he still has his speed. Yes, sir, Sean Stanley.
Mike McDaniel meeting with the press. Jalen Waddle is expected to play through the tweaked hamstrings. Julian Hill not expected to play against the Falcons.
No tight ends. Okay. Well, we have Chris Myrick. What am I saying? Kind of an idiot, am I? We have Chris Myrick. I forgot we had Chris Myrick. What up, Sean?
Also, it was a well-responded to competition. Both guys, the backup quarterbacks, have really risen to the challenge. It was their best week of practice by far. No backup quarterback named yet. Falcons, the mind games are on. Who will back up Tua?
I think it's really, to be honest with you, Sean, I think it's just mind games for their own quarterbacks to keep the MILF monster, into it. Like, hey, we haven't, decided he's number 2. You're still at it and all that. It's just depending on the man, and they're filling him with all that bullshit too. So, yeah, Falcons are definitely not nervous about either one. Oh, loaded. What can I tell you, folks? Don't forget to smash that like button. It's very important that you smash that like button. All right. What else do we have going on? By the way, Subaru of Pembroke Pines. You get $500 off when you go to Subaru of Pembroke Pines. You mention our name. That's right. You tell them Big O sent me here. I'm looking to buy or lease a vehicle. I get $500 off. They say, yes, you do. Talk to Alan. Talk to Eric Stampone. Talk to Brian Medina. Talk to any of the people out there, man. They know how to get it done. And, of course, our show is brought to you by Subaru of Pembroke Pines, the place South Florida turns to for incredible Subaru offers. Right now, no payments until 2026 with approved credit. Adventure starts with the Crosstrek, leasing it for only $197 per month. You can explore the Outback for $247 per month and with 0% financing available. And if you're looking for more space, the Forester, that is a beautiful vehicle. They've got the Forester Hybrid for just $447 a month, 4.49% APR financing. And mention us, you will get $500 off at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. All right, let me see what we got here on the chat board. Tesh Patel, Big O. was all over the Artie Burns was out for the year. Forget the tight end deficiency and DL issues, etc. It was always Artie Burns. There you go. Artie Burns. Well, once we lost Artie Burns, there was no shot at the Super Bowl. If we would have kept Artie Burns, there's no doubt we win the Super Bowl. Maybe back-to-back Super Bowls, right, Sean? I think with Artie Burns, back-to-back Super Bowls, right? Yeah, see, he agrees. Oh, 4? Did you say 4 in a row? Or was that a thumb? 5 in a row. See, I'm wrong. Sean says 5 in a row if we would have kept Artie Burns. But he got injured and our season was done. Artie Burns. We're all over it. Thank you. Thank you. Tesh, you got a great memory because when Artie Burns got injured, I said the season was over. And boy, was I right about that. So there you go. Frankie says, I think Ross loves McDaniel because he does not need to tank. He's doing it naturally without even telling him. At least at this point, that's where we're at. Realist says, you might be right that the franchise sucks too. To pay a quarterback franchise money and the conversation all week is about backups and your hurt wide receiver. Yeah, well, a lot of the conversations don't necessarily make sense, but you guys have them anyways. You know what I'm saying? So Horn Dog says, I think Bijan is looking to set a new rushing record on Sunday. Yeah, he's going to run like the wind, that's for sure. Dun, 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 dun. By the way, we always try to come up with an MVP. And I know last night the Panthers ended up losing to the Penguins 5-3. But in a night of negativity because they lost, I still think I found a Moody's Dental MVP of the night. I think Sean dropped off. So Sean could not fire off the Moody's Dental MVP of the night.
Who's last night's MVP? There's only one MVP for your family's dental care.
Moody's Dental. Get your smile back at Moody's Dental. Visit them on Instagram at moodys.dental.
Here's our Moody's Dental MVP of the night.
I got to go with Brad Marchand. He had 2 goals yesterday. He had 2 assists the other night. He has started off the season in a season where you're missing 2 of your best players and one of the best players in all of hockey in Barkov. Okay, a guy that helps you out in so many ways. And Marchand, in his own way, helps you out in so many ways too. And at his age, and they signed him to that extension, and you just wonder about the guy. And he is a wonder. He is a wonder that he doesn't age. When he scored that goal in the playoffs by carrying 2 big dudes and shaking them off and scoring, it was like, this man is just driven. And yesterday, I know they lost 5-3, but Brad Marchand, man, it's not because he wasn't trying. It's not because he doesn't try. It's not because he doesn't give it his all. It's not because he is an amazing player. He's the kind of guy that you may hate to play against, but man, you love when he's on your team. So Brad Marchand, for me, is definitely the Moody's Dental MVP of the night. Invisaligns, dental implants, preventive care, cosmetic surgery. Please call the Moody's family. You got 2 locations in Dade and in Broward County. Dade, 305-821-0231. In Plantation, 954-692-6825. And I just got to give him our Moody's Dental MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by Moody's Dental.
From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back, they accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams. To schedule an appointment in Dade, call 305-821-0231. In Broward, 954-692-6825. Follow them on Instagram at moodyass.dental, providing MVP smiles every day of the year.
Thank you all out there as always. And don't forget, Caneswear, proud sponsor of our program. You can get 10% off whether you are watching, whether you're going in person or whether you're online. And remember, online, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. Sean is back now. Sean, we just did a Moody's Dental MVP of the night, by the way. Just did it right now. Okay, just so you'll know. Because he's kind of out for the moment there. So we got him back. We got the great Sean Stanley back. Let's see what else. If tanking is the objective, keep McDaniel for the season rather than risk wins with an interim. Well, I mean, that's kind of what you can say that Stephen Ross is doing. You know, since he's been a mad tanker in the past, you can accuse him of tanking now because he's a cheater. He's known as a cheater. But right now, it's all incompetence. They're here because they're incompetent. Moving forward, you can say it's tanking because why not just keep McDaniel in place? The bad part is we've got to watch McDaniel every week. God, I just hope I don't have to. I'm tired of the press conferences. I'm tired of hearing him talk. He's just a joke, you know? So just, I really can't stand McDaniel. He is so useless. It makes me sick to my stomach how pathetic and useless that man is. Might be a nice guy and all, but as a coach, he gives your team no chance, dude. No chance whatsoever. So, anyway, what else do we have going on in the world of sports to talk about? Oh, by the way, let me do a little music here too, and a little crypto. By the way, first of all, our friends at R&M Contractors are always happy to help us out when it comes to our crypto segments, and we appreciate them immensely at R&M Contractors, Ray and Mike. And of course, if you're looking for some work for your business, your home, not condos, by the way, and condos, I'm sorry, by the way. So if it's condo, home, or business, Ray and Mike do it all. Dade and Broward, folks. Complete remodel, kitchen upgrades. We love it. And if you want to see the amazing work that Ray and Mike put together, go to their Instagram page, RMC Fisher Island. That's RMC Fisher Island, 305-345-3649. And the headline today in crypto, and especially Bitcoin, of course, is Jamie Dimon. Because Jamie Dimon now, all of a sudden, his company is going to allow its customers to use Bitcoin as loan collateral. Now, Jamie Dimon is a piece of crap that has been busted for manipulating silver and other things, but he got fined like $30 billion for manipulating silver. This is a guy that's a liar, and he has been trashing Bitcoin forever. Meanwhile, his European arms are, his European part of his business, been stacking Bitcoin to keep you down. It's kind of like what Vanguard has done. Vanguard is the biggest holder of BlackRock Bitcoin ETFs, yet don't allow their customers to handle Bitcoin. The rich want to keep you down. The powerful want to keep you down, especially people that are involved in banking. Never trust bankers to talk about Bitcoin and crypto. Why? They know it's the death of them. They know it's your freedom. They know it's a way of you getting ahead in life. Believe it or not. But if you stay in the money system, They keep you in that hamster wheel, and they love. Jamie Dimon wants to keep you in that hamster wheel. Yeah, baby. Vanguard wants to keep you in that hamster wheel. Yeah, of course. That's why they all fought it, because they know. But I know more than they do. So that's why I have guided you in the right direction, even though I am not a financial advisor and I am never giving any financial advice. But it's just great to see over the years all the people that I have trashed who were trashing Bitcoin are now folding like little bitches. And by the way, inflation rose to 3%. It was estimated to go to 3.1. So it went to 3%, which is bullish also. I mean, inflation's only going to go up. You know, the orangutan is only going to make things worse. As you can tell, everything is much more expensive since he took over. Everything is getting more expensive. So that's why you've got to fight the inflation. You've got to fight all of this. And Bitcoin is the best way where your money actually grows, where the money you have in the bank is not growing whatsoever. So take a look at it, folks. So it's good that CPI came in at 3, but we've been talking about it for a while. When the feds were talking about getting it down to 2, we told you they'd never get it down to 2. We're going to be living above 3 from here on out. That's just kind of the way it goes. Okay. You know. And let's see, what else do we have? Bitcoin at the moment, where are we at? We are at $110,000. Okay. Already flirted with 111 today as it is. But thanks, of course, to the folks at R&M Contractors for our crypto segment. We appreciate it. And I'm trying to see if there's any other news out there that is something that you really need to know. By the way, Trump pardoned CZ. The funny part is, I saw the press conference yesterday. Trump, when they asked him about pardoning CZ, which he, by the way, pleaded guilty to money laundering and all kinds of other crimes. He goes, well, you know, some people that told me he didn't break any laws. He has no idea what CZ was doing or how he broke laws or anything. He had no idea. He just, well, somebody told me. In other words, some of his big donors or whatever, and he did the favor for the big donor. So CZ gets out and gets a clean sheet. There you go. But it's just funny how you're going to pardon somebody and you have no idea what they did. Pretty hilarious. But, of course, not typical from the people that are in place that are as incompetent as it gets. All right, let's what do you got? What do you got, Sean? What do you got?
I wanted to ask you, did you hear what Brian Windhorst said about the Terry Rozier situation?
No, what did he say?
So he went on the Rich Eisen show, and he says the sports books caught the irregular betting on Terry Rozier the day it happened.
Yes, and they gave the NBA the heads up. I remember that. Yes, I saw that.
Now Windhorst is saying that he wasn't out the rest of the season because of the injury. The NBA pulled him.
Right.
But then they allowed him to come back, and then that's when the Heat traded for him. So I wonder if there's going to be more involved in this. But just so that's what's coming out today.
Not surprised. The Heat are absolute goofballs, dude. Wow, it's really shameful how far they've fallen. Really, like, it's bad. All right, let's go with music. Let's go with musicians born on this date in 97. Rachel Agatha Keene, known as Ray, born in 97. A big loser, Drake, the rapper, since he's always losing to Kendrick, born in 86. Aubrey Drake Graham. Monica, American rapper, actress, born in 1980. Ben Gillis from the Australian rock band Silverchair. Somebody turned me on to Silverchair. They're actually pretty damn good. Born in 79. Let's see who else. Alonza Bevan from the English rock band Kula Shaker. Born in 1970. Who else is celebrating birthdays today? Steven Greenberg from the funk group Lips, Funky Town. Won't you take me to? Let's see, what else? Dale Griffin, drummer for Mott the Hoople, born in 1948. Ted Templeton, record producer, born in 44. Bill Wyman from the Stones, born in 36. And that is musicians born on this date. Let's go with famous people. Remember, if I don't give you an age, that means they are no longer with us, unfortunately. Cartoonist Bob Kane, born in 1915. Hall of Famer Y.A. Tittle, born in 1926. Musician The Big Bopper, born in 1930. Actor David Nelson, born in 36. Actor F. Murray Abraham, born in 39. He is 86. He's the guy from F. Murray Abraham is the guy from Scarface that hires Tony and his partner from that little que más sandwich, que más carne ni más carne, quiere sandwich man. You know, that scene where they're in the sandwich scene and then they meet the guy that pulls into the Cadillac. He's the guy that gets hung by Sosa later on. That's F. Murray Abraham. He's still with us. He's 86. Just in case, because he's a guy that you've seen in many movies. Obviously, Scarface is very popular, but like his name doesn't fit like the look, you know? So it's kind of that. Anyway, Kevin Kline, born in 47, he's 78. Actress Casey Wilson, born in 80, she's 45. Model Tila Tequila. God, I haven't heard that name in forever. Born in 81, she's 44 today. Let's see. Who else? Actor David Castaneda. That's what it is. Born in 89, he's 36. Actress Shay Grimes, born in 89, she's 36. Jalen Ramsey, the thief, born in 94, he's 31. Ashton Sanders, the actor, born in 95, he's 30. NBA player Jaylen Brown, born in 96, he's 29. Here's a wrestler. Okay. NFL player Amon St. Brown, born in 99, he's 26. And that is it. Sean Stanley. Do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir, we do. El Phantasmo turns 39 today. The son of former Marlins manager Jeff Torborg. The Demon, Dale Torborg, turns 54. And Braun Breaker turns 28 today, October 24, 2025.
That's the one I had. That was on my list here. All right, let's go in music history. What happened today on October 24th, which is something that you all always want to know. But in 66, the year I was born, Newsweek magazine interviewed the Monkees. When asked how their music is created, singer Davy Jones says, "This isn't a rock and roll group. This is an act." 73, John Lennon began litigation against the U.S. government, accusing them of taping his telephone. In 78, the movie version of The Wiz, which debuted on a Broadway stage production in 75, hit theaters. The cast included Diana Ross as Dorothy and Michael Jackson as the Scarecrow. In 87, Michael Jackson started a 2-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles charts with Bad. In 88, Mike and the Mechanics released their second studio album, Living Years. It features Nobody's Perfect, The Living Years, Nobody Knows, and Seeing is Believing. In 96, Motown founder Berry Gordy was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 2000, on this date, Nelly Furtado released her debut, Whoa, Nelly. It features I'm Like a Bird. In 2006, on this date, Forbes.com revealed that Kurt Cobain had overtaken Elvis Presley as the highest earning dead celebrity. Do they celebrate that in heaven? Like, does like Kurt walk over to Elvis? I'm beating you. Is that what happens? I don't know. Just wondering. In 2006, Taylor Swift released her self-titled debut album, a collection of country pop tunes the singer wrote during her freshman year in high school. It was led by the top 20 single Tim McGraw. It peaked at number 5 on the album charts and became the longest charting album of the 2000s in the U.S., logging 157 weeks by 2009. Wow. In 2013, Tina Turner, who obtained citizenship in Switzerland, where she has lived since 95, relinquished her United States citizenship. How about that? In 2020, Billie Eilish pulls off Where Do We Go?, the live stream, the first large-scale virtual concert with extended reality XR effects, which immerse and interact with the performers, Eilish, her brother, Phineas, and drummer Andrew Marshall, and shift scenes from song to song. Tickets cost $30. I'll give her, she is always doing like cutting edge stuff as a performer, you know? She's always looking to do something different in the way she presents the music. Very creative. Let me see if there's any birthdays that weren't on the other list for music history today. Let's see who. No, looks like we covered most of them, so it's good. There you go. That's what happened today in music history. All right. The Fort Lauderdale United, by the way, they are enjoying the week off. It's always good to have a week off, reset, refocus, re-energize. And next week, Sean and I, and hopefully many of you, will be out there with us, joining us as the Fort Lauderdale United come home to take on the Brooklyn FC. And you can get tickets at FTLUTD.com. You can call them at 954-241-0618. You can also buy kits, shirts, hats, all kinds of stuff online too at Fort Lauderdale United FC Shop.com. And now kind enough to join us is Shania Gordon, defender number 11 in your heart.
Hi.
I am pronouncing it right. It is Shania,
yeah,
correct?
you are. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. And you and I are freaks.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Oh, really?
Freaks.
Wow.
I
love
am
it.
in Belle Glade, Florida, and you are born in Ocklawaha, Florida, correct?
Yeah.
Do you know, seriously, how many people?
That's crazy.
How many people do you meet that are real Floridians?
Wow, that is actually crazy. I love that. Cool. Just made my day. Thanks.
You know what's funny about that, Shania, is I always tell people I was born in the 305. And they go, when they find out, well, wait a minute, bro, Belle Glade is like right by Lake Okeechobee. And I go, yeah, I was born in 66. And back in 66, that was the 305 area code.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'm old. What
That's
can I tell
cool.
you? Yeah, the 305 like took up like half the state.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like half the state. So it was just one of those things. Like, yeah, I was born in the 3. Then I moved. You know, my parents moved to Miami, so I was 305 stayed with me all the way through. But it's just kind of. It's weird, Shania. We don't meet a lot of people because we're such a transient state. You know, I call us the 6th borough because we have some New Yorkers. Right?
Yeah.
It's like the 6th. So when I meet somebody that is actually born in Florida, I'm kind of happy to smile, you know, because there's not a lot of us. We got to stick together.
We have to stick together. I love it.
All right, so second year, all right, and what I love is talking to some of the players that have been here last year and this year, so you're kind of like in the mix of everything. So talk to me, where are we at this year compared to last year when you guys were figuring everything out? Do you see progress overall from last year to this year?
Yeah, I see progress. Last year we had a good team. This year we have a good team. I think our culture has gotten a bit stronger, and we're starting to, figure each other out. We're more organized, because it's not the first go around like it was last year. So everything's like more organized. Just playing on the field is more connected, I would say. So I just think it's good. I mean, last year's team was good. This year's team is also good. We have different players. There's players that we had last year that aren't here this year. We got new players in that weren't here last year. Now they're here this year. But they've been great additions to the team for our season.
Yeah, and I'm not even going to include the last game because it was kind of like that wasn't you guys. That was
Yeah.
But what I see is your defense from the get go has been better, than last. And so obviously that's your forte, So I really think that your defense has also been one of the real anchors of the reason why you've had so much success this.
Yeah, I think so. We take a lot of pride in our defense. Even the forward line, they always have defensive duties as well. I think as a team, as a whole, we really emphasize the importance of defense, because we know that we can score goals. We know that we're good on the ball. We know that we can attack, but stopping goals is really the prize and will really help you win games. So we all focus on that. Even the forwards, the midfielders, we're all on the same page when it comes to defense. So yeah.
Shania, when you watch soccer, who do you pattern against? Who do you look at? Do you look at will you even watch tonight for Inter Miami since they're in the playoffs against Nashville? You are a Florida kid like I am, so I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
So
I probably won't watch this Miami game. I like to watch Premier League. Those teams in England. I like to look up to Hakimi. He plays for PSG in France. I think he's a great outside back, and he's someone that I would want to be like every time I step on the field. So that's who I look up to. Look up to a couple players in the Premier League, but I am a Premier League girl, so I watch all Premier League soccer, all games. Doesn't matter who's playing. But yeah.
I get it. You got to watch the best of the best so you can learn. I totally understand that. And one of the things that I'm so impressed with you, Shania, a lot of us in life, we have to fight to keep our dreams alive, and we have to go through things. Sometimes we have to move states. Sometimes we have to move to different jobs. Sometimes we, have to deal with demotions to get a promotion somewhere else and things like that. And so when I look at your record, you're playing in France, you're playing in Moscow. I mean, what's it like playing in Moscow? That sounds so like I'm watching Rocky 3 or Rocky 4 with the Russian like practicing in the snow and Rocky. And I'm like, what's it like soccer in Russia? It looks like that is some rough stuff to keep your dream alive. That is gutsy.
Yeah. I actually loved Moscow out of all of the places I've been to. When people ask me where was my favorite place to play soccer, I always say Moscow, because at first it was like I thought I was gonna be in like Rocky 3. Like I thought it was gonna be like I was gonna be sled pushing to my practice, with the wolves. I didn't think they had cars. I don't know. I think I was gonna be in my Eskimo suit, like going. So that's what I pictured. But when I got there, it was like a New York City. Like it was cold, but there was skyscrapers. They were technology advanced. It was normal. It felt like, I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't in the Russia that I thought I was going to be in,
Right.
I was living in the city. I was in a brand new apartment. Everyone treated me so nice. Like they loved me there. I was so sad to leave, because the war, but I had the best time there. I loved it.
Wow, that's and again, see, you're keeping your dream alive, and like, okay, you got to leave. They're going to go to war. Like, wow, that's rough. How was it like playing for FC Metz in France?
It was good. I mean, it was my first time in France, so it was a culture shock, but I'm always used to change, because I'm a military kid, so I was growing up moving from place to place. So I didn't mind the change. It was just in a different country. I didn't know French at the time, so it was kind of hard communicating with people outside of the soccer field, just regular restaurant stuff or like grocery store conversations. Like it was hard doing that, but it was fine. Like I like owe it all to that team because that was the team that gave me my chance. That was the team that wanted to sign me for my first professional contract. So, I give them like everything. Like I really owe it all to them.
And I think the hardened approach that you have to the world, to life.
Mm-hmm.
You started playing soccer when you were in
Mm-hmm.
Germany, 6 years old. So you end up in France.
Mm-hmm.
You end up in Russia. You're back here in the United States. And I would imagine that starting your life in Germany really kept you open and didn't scare you from going to other places in the world.
Yeah, I would say it did help me with that. I would say I was on base when I was that age, so I was with a lot of Americans.
Right.
So the only thing that was different was probably like the infrastructure and like the buildings and stuff, but I was still speaking with Americans and I had American friends, and stuff like that. But I think just after that, when we moved back to America and we were moving every 2 years, like I was in Indiana, then I moved to Virginia, then Virginia Beach, and then Georgia, and then we were in Kansas and then Texas. Like it was a lot of movement, especially for someone who's like trying to like go far in soccer because I have to change teams, I have to change coaches, I have to learn their style of play now. You know what I mean? So I think that's what really helped me really be fit for all these changes in my adult life or professional career, because I just grew up doing all of that when I was young. So
Wow, that is impressive because
yeah.
you're also a military kid.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it just all that whole life of yours has kind of prepared you for what you've done up until this point. So it's strange when people tell you, things happen for a reason, whether it's good or bad. It's a bad thing. You're like, oh damn, I wish you wouldn't tell me this, but it's like,
Yeah.
things happen reason, and then they toughen you and they make you better, and there's no doubt that an upbringing gives you an edge over a lot of people who would struggle to go through all those kind of changes.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I'm just blessed and happy that I got to live the life that I did and grow up how I grew up, and I think it really just shaped me to be the type of person I am today. So I'm really happy for that.
So how much French, how much Russian, how much German do you know, or is it did you just learn the bad words like we all do?
I know. I would say I know about 80% French. I'm still in classes right now trying to be completely fluent. So I think 80% is a good estimate for that. Russian, I can read Russian. I don't know what the words mean, but I learned the alphabet because, it's a different alphabet. So I learned the alphabet and I'm able to like read sentences. Just the translating part, I don't know anything. And then German, I know nothing, but I'm also trying to learn that as well because my boyfriend, he's Austrian and they speak German there. So his first language is German. So I'm trying to learn for him, and he's helping me and stuff like that. But yeah.
Is he a futbolista?
He's a soccer player, yeah.
Yeah, he's a futbolista. All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. By the way, tell us where Oklawaha is in Florida.
It's well, if people know Ocala, Florida, a lot of people know Ocala, Florida.
Of course.
So it's literally 20 minutes out. In a small country town. Yeah.
Where is it from Ocala?
It's south.
South. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So headed towards Orlando. Okay. All right. That's interesting. All right. That's good stuff. Who's your favorite character in Abbott Elementary? Because my wife's a teacher, so we watch Abbott Elementary. That's like one of those things, and I love the show. I love the show. It is such hilarious.
I would probably say, I want to say Ava or the janitor. I forgot his name.
Right. You're talking about the crazy principal, Ava,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. She's awesome. I love it. I love it. Shania, how can folks follow you on social media if they want to connect? And obviously, we'll watch you on Peacock and on Channel 10 doing your thing. And we'll be there on Saturday, next Saturday, by the way, broadcasting live from 4:30 to 6:30.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
Looking forward
perfect.
to that, definitely. But how can folks follow you on social media?
You can follow me at I am Shania on Instagram. That's my same @ name for Twitter, and those are the two things that I'm usually on. So I am Shania.
All right, cool stuff. What do you see from Brooklyn? You already beat them once. You got them next week. What's the overall scouting that you see overall and what you're facing next Saturday?
Well, it's the same scout as any other team. We treat every team the same, no matter like if they're last place or they're first in league. We just focus on us a lot of times, so we're just gonna do our thing, and we know that they have some good players, they have quality, so we're gonna watch out for that. But overall, we're just gonna do what we do and come out with a win.
Awesome. Shania Gordon, defender, number 11 for your Fort Lauderdale United. Make sure you get your tickets. Bring the friends out there, the family. Join us out there next Saturday, November 1st against Brooklyn. Shania, thank you. We will catch up down the line, and good luck next Saturday. Enjoy the week off.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye, guys.
You got it. There you go, Shania Gordon. Excellent stuff as always. Appreciate it. And a Florida girl. Yeah. I don't run into a lot of people that are born and raised here in Florida, man. There's not a lot of us, you know. We got to kind of stick together. There's only a few of us out there. Remember, folks, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. I'm sorry, Dougie Fresh. I didn't see this. Let's see. What is the one thing holding U.S. soccer back at World Cup? Oh, okay. We'll try to do that next time for one of the ladies. But you're talking for the men, right? Because the women are ass kickers. So you're talking more for the men. Yeah. Maybe she doesn't watch that because she watched Premiership. She watched the elite stuff, dude. Let's see what else. Supporting this team has been bad. Made the good things so good ever since we got this quarterback. It has ruined football for me and my Sundays. Okay, well then don't watch, bro. What can I tell you? You know. Skylar says, born in Coral Springs, raised in Tamarack, native Floridian. Unite. There you go. Not a lot of us, man. Not a lot of us, Skylar. You know, that's it's just something that's not as popular because we're such a transient state. Everybody moves here, which I don't blame them for moving here. It's a great place to move. By the way, All Year Cooling and Plumbing, proud sponsors of our program. We love Tommy and all the great people at All Year Cooling and Plumbing. They've been around since 1973. That's 52 years. Family owned and operated. You know they're doing something right when you go over half a century. Are you kidding me? 350,000 satisfied customers. Go to the website at call.allyearcooling.com so you can get a free estimate. They serve Vero Beach all the way down to Homestead. New office is now in Naples. We are Florida's #1 AC and plumbing service. Get on down there. Call them 561-771-5773, or you see the 888 number there, 888-204-5554. Open for 7 days a week service, free repair estimates, same-day installations. Financing is available, extended warranty. I have an AC that I bought and installed from All Year Cooling 15 years ago in 2010. I was at 640 Sports when they were one of my sponsors in those days. And it works like a champ, dude. Like a champ. 15 years later, not a problem. These are the people you want to reach out to. If you live here in South Florida or in Naples, give them a ring. 888-204-5554. Let's see. Big O, do you smell that? The chat suddenly started to smell like crap. I don't know what happened. What happened? Did True Fin Fan fart or something? What happened? What happened? True Fin Fan drop a bomb or something? Huh? All right. I think we are done. I appreciate you all out there. We're going to be back tomorrow night for the Canes post game. Also, Dolphins pre and post. We'll do both also. We'll get you ready for the contest. Not that it's going to be much of a contest. And then we'll cover the post game show like we always do. Good or bad, mostly bad. It is what it is. That's our lives. We're Dolphin fans. What are we going to do? But anyway, I appreciate all of you out there. We thank Manny Navarro. We thank David Furones. We thank Shania Gordon. And I thank all of you out there and Sean Stanley. Of course, without Sean, it doesn't happen. We'll see you tomorrow night. Post-game, Canes and Stanford. And then we'll see you also on Sunday. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.